Well, that's kind of, but initially didn't get into the business until sometime later. But in that meantime, met my wife. Actually, I started doing personal training, believe it or not,
Okay.
and doing some group classes and individual stuff. And then kind of same thing. It's like, and that was probably gave me a ton of experience for even being able to relate with people, because
Yeah.
you were selling personal training packages, you were getting to that trust level. I mean, that's a big thing, talking about weight, talking about physical goals with all ages, from somebody who was 80 who came to me to somebody who was 18,
Yeah.
talking through those things and having that element of trust. I'm not going to go blab their personal info. So that was kind of me. I was kind of like the barber, people
Yeah.
told me all their stuff and things, and you just kind of were that listening ear. And so anyways, but I kind of knew that really wasn't going to be my thing when I'm 50. And, so kind of pivoted. If we really want to go my crazy, the
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
crazy story was that actually I was worked at, it was a higher end gym, and there was a wealthy individual, they'll go nameless, that it's not like everybody knows him, just, I don't want a
Sure.
lawsuit
Sure.
for defamation by accident. So there was a high net worth individual that said, TJ, don't work, I need some extra help, just come work for me full time, you can be my personal trainer and and manage my meals and blah blah blah. So I was like, a salary position, that sounds crazy. And so long story short, kind of got into the environment, had his own private jet and stuff, and he worked in politics, and so had a house in DC, and kind of flew back and forth to his house in DC, and that was kind of cool, and being able to actually rub elbows with congressmen and senators, and which is just insane, because I'm like 23 at the time, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize the environment I was actually in.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm with him, whatever. And, so that lasted for a very short time, because then this individual decided that, I'm trying not to go too detailed, decided he didn't want me anymore.
Sure.
And, and so somebody who was his caterer, provided a lot of his meals, friends with a person that worked at a title company. And he said,
Okay.
so said to his friend, hey, I feel bad for what happened to this guy. He kind of got thrown out in the garbage. And so do you guys need any help? And it was right after, when was that? 2012. So things were really starting to pick back up in the market, and so they just needed bodies. They just needed people to get in there. And so anyway, started working for a title company, and that was how I kind of started in the title game, then did title sales. And you work with Ryan Ruley, don't you?
Yep. He's my mentor and team lead.
Yes. I tried to get business from Ryan so many times, and he was very, very nice to me. He was honestly and I'm just saying that just because you have a relationship. He was always so nice. It was kind of one of those things where, yeah, TJ, I like you, but I can't really do it. Like, this is a title. You can only go so far. No, I'm sorry to my title friends. You can only go so far. It really is a relationship business and things like that. And so, and sat down with me several occasions, but just didn't work. So that was kind of the thing. But so then really what turned the corner. So I actually got invited. Chase Bank does this. They do a bigger event every year or whatever. So I got to know a couple of Chase bankers, and so they invited me out. And I can't remember who the speaker was. It doesn't matter. So the speaker basically said, hey, anybody, you had all these small business people, and they were just from dry cleaners to whatever. Hey, anybody that wants to you raise their hand, tell us about why your business matters. Raise your hand. And so I took an agent friend with me, client, whatever. And they were like, TJ, just raise your hand, whatever. And I was just stiff. I could not raise my hand. I was like, my business, how it matters. Like, this doesn't matter to anybody. And so I was being a little harsh on myself, but I
Sure.
didn't have that belief to be able to say, hey, this is something that I need to be able to, be able to rise up. So if I don't believe in it myself, if I can't even tell anybody, if I can't even tell one person, if I can't even explain to Ryan that why my business matters, what am I doing? Am I still there? Okay.
Yep,
I
you're
went
there.
off on my screen. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
So if I can do that, so it was probably 2 months later that I'd been our current broker owner that I still work with. They'd been kind of saying, hey, you should come over, and so it's finally clicked. I listened. I was like, you know what? I need to make the jump. So that was kind of the leap of faith because I wanted to. I just kind of felt fizzled out, didn't have that belief system, and
Yeah.
jumped over to this side. And application to that, really working through some of that. I could say, hey, that rich guy, he fired me. He
Right.
sucks. I can put that blame on him. And really, so if you're talking about pyramid, whatever, experiences,
Yep.
beliefs, and have it on that. And so I was like, my experiences, I interpreted some of those experiences wrong if I'm going introspective. And because I'm looking at, he didn't force me to take that job.
Yeah.
He didn't say, like, you better take this job or else. I took that job willingly. And I was underprepared for it, which, hey, all things work out, all things work together, got me to this point because it was a stepping stone. But, kind of looking at that was kind of the looking back, being able to use some of the positive experiences. Because so
Yeah.
now I look back at that, for me working for that wealthy individual, now I'm thinking, instead of like, I can't believe he did that to me, and having that bitterness, if you will, now I'm thinking, hey, I wasn't prepared for that. I'm not going to be unprepared before jumping into a major financial job, whatever situation. Take a little ownership of the mistakes and don't put that all on him, because that's not going to get me anywhere.
Yep.
So it's being able to kind of use those experiences and have building blocks to form new beliefs. Well,
And obviously,
reality beliefs.
yeah, and obviously everything's hindsight 2020, right? But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for that moment, it wouldn't have led you to this moment, right?
Correct.
If it wasn't,
yeah.
And that's same thing. Like I failed. My story is I failed calculus in college. I was going for accounting at Ohio State, and made me switch to sports management at Ohio State, which I don't care what anyone says to me. It's a joke of a degree at Ohio State, and didn't interview for any job that I used my degree for. Got into real estate 3 weeks after graduating, and now looking back at it, it's one of the best things that could ever have happened to me, because if it wasn't for me failing that class, I never would have switched degrees. And who knows if I would have been living the lifestyle and being happy and everything else that happened, right? And I'll tell you what, I would assume the personal training side of things taught you accountability, taught you how to relate to people, and hold, the hard part is holding other people accountable too, right? And really walking them through that journey of, trusting the process.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, no, for sure. You can look at applications of every step of the way. So from
yeah,
that, of having that interaction there, and, from, and you kind of really pick up on people's lifestyle, because no one just accidentally gets the way that they are in any way, shape, or form by
right,
accident. Then just poof, oh my gosh, this is the state that I'm in, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically. There's a reason why this happened. So being able to kind of open that box up a little bit, of being able to say, well, okay, not saying how did this happen,
yeah,
obviously, but being able to say here's habits, and but being able to pull somebody up out of, maybe they, maybe they don't know what to do next or whatever, and so being able to actually take that and then say, okay, here's the way forward according to your goals, or whatever it is, or what they're trying to accomplish. So same thing in real estate.
And it's so crazy because I talk to agents all the time. I've been with Ryan since day one of my career. So going on well over 11 years now. And he's always taken me or encouraged me to go to conferences, to go to events, big events, small events, masterminds, whatever. And I always tell people, you just never know who you're going to meet, what takeaways you're going to have,
Yeah.
what things that you're going to bring back and implement into your business that are going to completely change your business. And I've been to one of those Chase events. The one I went to was 2 years ago, a year ago, with Gary Vee, when they flew Gary Vee out.
Oh,
I want to say it
that's a big one.
was it last year or something? I forget. But going to that one thing, really put a different seed in your mind of, am I truly passionate about title? And I have this conversation with
Just
agents
hilarious
all
the
the
question
time.
to ask altogether. But anyway,
But I ask this to questions all the time, right? Like these questions to agents, like, is real estate truly what you enjoy doing? Because if you don't enjoy it, then
yeah.
it's going to be hard for you to find success in it, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Especially when you got to be that self drive, self motivation. No one's holding your hand. You got to be accountable to yourself. So it's just crazy that that one question at that one event, really kind of changed things for you.
Yeah, I still have the pen too because I couldn't write anything down. I was like, oh, I've never didn't use this pen, so maybe I should use this in this line. So